back to JKLive. Believe it, Mheshimiwa Millie ODHIAMBO MABONA and I are talking about East Africa's Got Talent.
Yes, we are.
You enjoying the show? Are you enjoying
Yes, I do. I watch it. It's very nice.
It's amazing.
And I think, you know, we have a lot of people who have a lot of talent.
Yes.
I love this girl, Janelle.
Oh,
and,
amazing.
Yeah, I was telling you, one of my little girls went audition. She tried out.
Wow.
She didn't make it, but I've encouraged her to go again, and we'll give her some voice training. She has good voice.
Absolutely.
She'll come again.
And I think season 2 and 3 and 4, I think they'll be even bigger.
Yeah.
And more stars will emerge.
I was amazed at the level of talent we have.
Especially in the region, huh?
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. I watch it.
It's a wake-up call for many people.
Yes.
Well done. And please tell your little ones to keep going, huh?
Yeah.
Manu Chandaria,
yes.
He never misses watching this show, never.
Yes.
He says, I don't personally know Millie, but she is one strong woman in our parliament. Nice to hear her candid opinion. We men are wrong in not giving them the respect they deserve. Wow.
Well,
literally, they run our lives. Hats off to her.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I also watched his show. I was very impressed.
He was very good, yeah?
Yes.
And you know he is never without his wife, huh?
I was
He's
very
always
impressed.
with Aruna everywhere.
I was so impressed. A lot of men should copy him, actually. I hope you copy.
All right, so what's next for you? You've done 3 terms as MP.
Yes.
You've written a book. You've gone through hell and back.
I've written books.
Books, sorry.
Yes.
Pardon me. You've gone through hell and back.
Yes.
What's next for Millie ODHIAMBO MABONA? What's next? The big seat? Governor next?
I will decide in the coming future. I think right now my focus is serving the people of Suba North. And, you know, I think sometimes as leaders we lose focus. When you're given work to do, before you actually implement what you are told, you're already running into or jumping into something else. And because of that, we never really deliver. And for me, I know my work is legislative, representation, and oversight. So I try my best to deliver on that. And actually, my campaign mantra, a lot of people would go and tell you, this is what I'm going to do for you. I don't do that. I go and tell people, like now, this last time, I said, this is what you told me to do. And this is how I rate myself. I rated myself on legislation, representation, and oversight.
Do you get frustrated in that house?
Sometimes, but you kind of develop thick skin. You get frustrated, especially because of the evolving nature of Parliament. When I got in, Parliament was mainly, you know, much older people, most of them very established, so they were not running all over, looking for, you know, money and stuff like that. But now Parliament is younger, people in, you know, early to mid-level career, so they've also got a lot of interest and concerns elsewhere. So Parliament has changed quite significantly from the time I came into now, but you kind of, you know, adjust, and we are more. So before we had time to debate more, now we have less time to debate, but you kind of adjust. And then some, you know, and then also part of the thing that you learn to adjust is for those of us who came when we are sort of linear in our thinking, you learn to be flexible in your thought. That at one point you are left, then the next you are right. And sometimes it happens in the twinkling of an eye that you, one day I'm bashing the president. Somebody, my friend Jennifer Shamala was telling me today, Millie, she had to cross over from the other side. I said, did I hear you right? You called the president, you know, the super legislator? I thought you were the one who calls yourself that. I said, well, he is a super legislator. I said, well, you are the one who was the opposite. I said, well, you know, in politics, you know, as I told you, we are frenemies. We are in the frenemies arena. And the only challenge that, of course, you face is that if you're principled, you make sure you don't lose your principles in the process. I don't lose my principles in the process. There are things I do not negotiate about.
Okay, when's the last time you saw the president then?
At Joyce's funeral.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Did you talk? Did you chat?
Yes, I did. I hugged him.
You hugged him?
Yes.
And he hugged you back?
Yes.
Oh.
I gave him a peck.
And he said,
yes. Yes.
Oh, well done, well done. There's no such thing as political enemies, right?
Yes, no.
By the way, Francis Gashuri,
yes,
he says a big hi, and he
Thank
says you are his favorite female MP.
Thank you, Francis. We've worked a lot with him in Suba North and others. Yeah, so we are buddies. We come a long way.
Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to our tweets here. Jim Matt says, the Bible says we are going to give an account of every idle word we release. People will be like, oh, I posted that and it went viral. Well, sometimes things go viral because they are infecting people, not influencing them. Of course, he's referring to that video of that young boy.
Yes.
It's going to haunt him forever, you know.
Well, but with the counseling, he can...
You can get over it?
He can work, he can get through it.
Yeah, okay.
He needs counseling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Carol Ken 254 says, parenting is a fundamental component in making young persons socially responsible. It is sad that in the midst of the internet of things, the children are not getting the right support on its overall impact. Good job, Millie.
Thank you, Carol.
Tweets coming in thick and fast. That's Mercy Kendi saying, it is our collective responsibility to look at our social responsibilities. What we are neglecting and assuming. The society has evolved. It is unwise to continue conservative attitudes, especially as parents and role models. By the way, do you see there's a lot of homeschooling going on? Did you notice that?
Yes, yes. And, you know, it's really up to parents, but I don't think we need to keep our children away.
Yeah.
You know, when we're also overprotective of our kids, you don't know what they'll turn out to, because that socialization helps. You know, being able to interact with other people enables you to grow.
Yes.
So if you let your child grow on their own, then it's very difficult. I know that when all these things were happening, one of my nephew, Quay, then says, can I please be learning at home because of all that's going on? I said, no. Part of, you know, it helps you to mingle with other kids, face challenges. And sometimes even that bullying, when you get over it, it helps in forming who you are.
I remember when I was in Standard 1, Hospital Hill, a long time ago, 1972.
Yes.
There was this guy called Peter Matu.
Yes.
His dad was a brigadier.
Yes.
And this guy was in a fight with another guy, and the headmaster came and tried to separate them, and Peter Matu turned the headmaster and boom! I've never been so traumatized. I didn't want to go back to that school. The guy beat up the headmaster and ran off.
Yeah.
Peter is a good friend of mine these days, but you know, it was...
Yeah, and it turned out well, I hope.
Yeah, it turned out wonderful.
Yeah.
It turned out wonderful.
Because sometimes kids go through phases.
Yes.
For some of them, you know, especially you are talking about 12,
yes,
they're getting into adolescence.
Yeah.
So they just need a lot of guidance and direction.
You're right, you're right. Joe Kiash says, when it comes to politics, Kenyans vote in tribal lines, but Millie's personality is admirable. She is witty and brilliant. Jeff, reminder, in Kiambu, we are governorless.
Oh.
Millie, food for thought.
I have heard. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. All right. YTT.
Yeah.
So some governors are in a bit of trouble now, huh?
Yes, yes.
I mean, Kiambu, Nairobi, and a couple of others.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the truth of the matter is that if the ESCC was serious and DCI was serious and focused, a lot of governors would be in jail.
You'll be in jail today, right?
Would be in jail today.
Yeah.
That is a fact. And which is unfortunate, because a lot of them are my friends. We were in, you know, parliament with a lot of, you know, the governors.
Yes.
But, and I remember also, you know, there was actually this ranking that was done recently. Yeah. And I was very curious to know what the criteria they were using for ranking. And we must start challenging. Because I remember one of my friends who works in one of the counties said, you know what? In our county, our governor always gets ranked the best. But I can tell you we have the highest number of ghost projects. And this is somebody I fairly trust, you know.
What county was that again?
No, I won't say which. You don't want to get my friend fired.
Okay. Kirega John says, what benefits can we, I think, reap, yeah?
Yeah.
Not leap, huh?
Yep. It's okay.
It's okay. Okay, can we reap so far that has been brought by the so-called handshake rather than peace? Handshake is a total scam to our nation, government and opposition. wameshikana kuangamiza Mkenya wa kawaida.
Yes. I would want to say that there's a lot that you can say for the handshake. We are doing our work without, you know, any hiccups. I don't see how we are. What is kuangamiza again? You know, my Kiswahili is bad. But I think you're worse than me.
They think basically you've forgotten about Wanjiko.
No, I don't think we have forgotten about Wanjiko. We are focused about Wanjiko. Even if you listen to our debate today in Parliament on the finance bill that has been brought, we focused on the issues that are being brought to tax Wanjiko that we have said no to. So we are still focusing on Wanjiko. And because we are focusing, you know, I think there was a lot of propaganda around the handshake. So there are people who kind of just put a mental block on the handshake without giving it, you know, the benefit of doubt. There's a lot going on. And I find it very interesting, like when you see work going on, a lot of work that was being launched, for instance, by the Deputy President. But when it's launched, they're government projects, but you are being told that the President is not doing anything. What do you mean he's not doing anything? If the Deputy President is launching government project, that means the President is doing something.
Correct.
Yeah, so their government is doing something. There are roads that are being developed. There is, you know, a lot of work going on. And it is in all regions.
BBI, you think will be successful?
BBI, yes, I believe good things will come out of it, but we are still waiting for the report. So I've been very guarded about BBI because I'm waiting to see what the report is, but I trust that it will be successful.
Okay, let's take a look at some text messages. Kato from Nairobi says, Millie is not speaking truth in its entirety. She should also note that the current parliament has failed to get the remedy for two-thirds gender issue. The ward issue, she is also scaremongering. The accountability part is the best part of the bill. Punguza mizigo all the way.
I don't understand the accountability. I wish it's because it's short, but I would wish to know what the accountability part is. But I'm glad that the person is talking about scaremongering because it means that they've actually heard what I'm saying. Yeah, that punguza mzigo is actually not helping. Yeah. So I'm glad that even in saying that I'm scaremongering, it has gotten to him or her. And I'm requesting you, in your own free time, don't listen to just the word punguza mzigo. Go and read that punguza mzigo yourself.
Viewer says, hey Millie, please work on a bill on surrogacy. Women are suffering.
I have actually a bill which is called Assisted Reproduction Technologies Bill, and I'm at a good place to know because I do not have a child myself, naturally. And should I choose, I've given myself up to the deadline of December to decide whether or not I want to go through assisted reproduction. If December comes and I've not decided, I'll let it pass Jeff. Fortunately for me, God made me in a very wonderful way. I feel complete with or without a child. I've raised many, many children and have never at one point ever considered myself any less because I don't have a child. But because I have seen the tears of women, I've never, Jeff, in my life cried that I don't have a child. But I was shocked that actually women cry that they don't have children.
They do.
Yes,
they do. Yes.
I was shocked. I have met women, one of them, I'm glad, managed to come into Parliament, who struggled over years and has got a child through assisted reproduction. She introduced me to a group a network of women who don't have children, some who have been divorced, some who have gone, even women in the media who have, you know, got in touch with me, who have been divorced because they don't have children. So for the sake of those women, I have brought, and I don't want to say for myself because I may not be considering, I have brought assisted reproduction technologies bill that would help those women. So yes, and it has surrogacy in it. And I've also brought a reproductive health care bill that also talks about some of those issues. I know that whenever we talk about reproductive health care, people always think of abortion. It's not about abortion. Jeff, if I told you my story about reproductive health care, you would be astounded. So some of it is also very personal to me, that when I was younger and I'd have my menses, I was always admitted in hospital every single month.
Because of what? Blood loss or migraines or?
I would have severe cramps. I would have blood loss. So it was always a very serious terrible journey for me. So I know. I went into a meeting once, and I walk in, and fortunately I was the first one in the meeting. Before I know it, I was in a pool of blood. Oh. But fortunately, there was a guy in the room who was chairing this meeting, and I didn't know how to deal, so I said, excuse me, can you please, because we were meeting in his office, I said, can you please leave your office? Then he looked at me and he said, it's okay, I'm a gynecologist.
Oh.
By coincidence.
Tell me something. The teacher the other day,
yes,
when the little kid was being abused, and then she stood up and she was filled with blood, and it was that her very first period.
That was such a terrible thing for the teacher to say. Yeah. That's why actually when I talk to girls, I do a lot of mentorship, and when I talk to girls, I tell them your period is part of you, and they came from heaven as a package, like the way a computer comes with a package. Mm-hmm. And I tell the girls, be proud of it. Yes. And if you should soil, walk proudly, and I catwalk, and I tell them, oops. Just do oops, yes, and move. Yes. It's not a big deal. No. It's part of who I am.
Correct.
It's not dirty. It's normal. So this thing about making people feel dirty because they have menses, it's wrong. There's nothing, you know, I didn't make myself. God made me with the menses. Yeah. So I know what it is to go through that. And Jeff, I went to hospital upon hospital. In Kenya, I went to Aga Khan, I went to different hospitals, and all I was told is there's a mass. They couldn't tell me what it was. And when I went to school in New York, then I was told, you have fibroids. Now, I don't know whether maybe technology at that point wasn't good enough.
Yes,
and
yes.
Guess what, Jeff? Every time I went to hospital, I was told I've aborted. Every month, I was told I'm aborted.
Good Lord.
Yes, I was told I've aborted. And I was in hospital every month. Oh. Because a woman, every time you present yourself to hospital, and then one time when I was actually in... I already started working, and because I used to have this problem, so I went to hospital, and I was given... you know, documentation because I missed the office. So I had to take it back to the office. Yeah. And I was walking around with this documentation from office to office. Why? Because I've had this problem all my life. What did the doctor write? That I have a sexually transmitted infection, and I was not even sexually active.
No.
So I'm showing people around that I have a sexually transmitted infection. So somebody called me and said, excuse me, do you know what this means? I said, no. What is it? Said, it shows that you are found with a sexually transmitted infection.
How old were you?
Early 20s.
Good Lord.
I went back to the hospital, and I told the doctor, why did you find me with this? And he said, did you present with this? I said, no, I didn't. He said, most women do. I'm not most women have come as me.
Yeah.
So the challenge is that for reproduction as women, when you present yourself, it's always presumed that you have a sexually transmitted infection, right, or that you have aborted. It's not about that. Reproductive health care is not about abortions or that you have done what. It's a whole spectrum. From when you, and I thank God, yeah, I always tell people that the things that people think are negative about me, I thank God for. Because God enabled me to go through them so that I can be the voice of those who go through, because I'm strong.
Yeah.
I went through those reproductive challenges. I can talk boldly about them. I don't have a child. I can talk boldly about them. I am married outside. I can talk boldly about them. You know, I'm a migogo. I can talk boldly about them.
You're
so
geza.
I can talk boldly about it. So I thank God, yes, that I went through all what people consume as negative.
The negatives into positives.
Yes.
There you go.
Because I am privileged to be in this place at such a time as this for a purpose.
The purpose.
Yes.
Bob Collymore used to tell me that all the time, man.
Oh.
What is your purpose?
Amen.
Rest in peace, my brother. Anna says, Proverbs 19:18, KJV. Is that King James Version? I think so. Chasten thy son while there is hope, and let not thy soul spare for his crying. What does that mean? Proverbs 22:15, King James Version says, foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. Let's whip them. Let's reintroduce corporal punishment in schools, and as such, preserve a generation. Why didn't you say that in the first part, Anna?
Well, somebody can argue that the rod that was used in the Bible, like Joshua's, was to guide, not to beat. So, but that really, I would want to say, outside the school, the parent would need to deal. First, just don't abuse the child, because people would go excessive. That's why even those of us who are in the children's sector were opposed to, you know, corporal punishment, because we know in the era when there was corporal punishment, some children were beaten to death in schools, if you remember. Some were maimed and, you know, some were injured in different ways. So that's why we said remove corporal punishment. But like Joshua did with the rod, you can still guide your child, not by caning, but by, you know, different ways. Yeah,
absolutely. Guiding is key.
But not the way Nganga is doing to...
Oh my God, that man.
Not what he's doing.
And people still go to his church?
I don't understand. Perhaps, and I know the church doesn't like it, but if that continues, we will bring a bill to regulate.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Bring a bill.
No. There's a level that you go.
Thank you.
Even with the spirituality.
Goodness. Zippy says, kindly, Millie, push for police reforms, especially salaries.
I agree. Our police do an excellent job protecting us. I know there may be a few that go off here and there.
But there's a lot of good guns.
There's a lot of
good cops, good police, men and women.
Yes, men and women. Yeah. You know, I might also add that I get so thrilled when I see women in uniform. Carrying guns. They look lovely. Why lie? They look lovely. Why lie?
Yes.
Yeah. When I was growing up, that was not a very common feature.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
But I love it.
Well done. Yeah. Well done. Levy Cones said, or Cones says, I agree with Millie about the Calais angle in Kibra. Ask her why Amani and Ford K are in the ring as well. What's that about?
Amani and Ford Kenya are in the ring because they want to keep a presence. So
it's relevancy.
Yeah, relevancy. Because, you know, if as a party, every election comes and you are not, you know, present, then you will not be considered as a serious player. Yeah. So it's okay, they can have their candidate, it's not a bad thing. But again, I've told you this is ODM. Yeah, Kibra is ODM and ODM is Kibra. Yeah.
Finally, 2022. Yes. Is it Raila versus Ruto?
I can't say that.
You can?
Yeah, though I would encourage Raila to vie, but I can't say that.
You think he'll vie?
No, I'm saying I would encourage him.
You would?
Personally, I would.
Yes.
But I can't say that. 2022 is a long time. We can only say, God willing, at this point, what the Muslims say, inshallah. In the Christian world, we say, God willing.
Yes.
So we leave a lot to God. 2022 is a long time. But Baba is still very strong, very alert, very smart politically. Yeah, so he still can. But really, let's deal with one thing at a time. Right now, we are focused on the handshake and BBI and delivering what we can to Kenyans.
Good point. Well put. John Mutudo.
Yes.
He says Millie is way above others in decorum and intellectual capability.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. I appreciate.
Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman.
Yes. And thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Mheshimiwa, thank you for coming on such short notice.
Thank you.
And you look lovely, and I love the carmine red combination of Jubilee and ODM, like you say.
Asante.
Asante sana. Keep up what you're doing, huh?
Thank you.
And is your book out, this one about your trials and tribulations?
I am trying to see if I can launch it on my birthday, which is the 1st of November, which is All Saints Day.
It is All Saints Day?
Yes.
Because the next day is All Souls Day, yes.
Yes.
And this baby of yours that you're trying to get, you said you're giving yourself till December.
To make that decision. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I don't want to do it for bullies. I don't want to do it because people are pressurizing me. If I'm doing it, I'm doing it for me.
For you.
And I am happy as I am. I've raised so many kids. So many, I can't even count. Some are now working and blah, blah, blah. Some in university. God gave me that special gift. I've taken small kids from, little, right from immediately I left college up to now. So I've always, you can't believe it yet, but I've always had a kid in my house of different ages. If you come to my house, you probably find at any given time about 6 to 10 kids. Yeah. I love kids that much.
Just running around, staying with you.
Staying with me, not running around, staying with me. So I've never, there must be something weird or nice with me.
Well, clearly, there's something
because
about you.
I've never felt a special need to have my own. I am able to love one kid, any kid. I am able to love without feeling like I'm missing something. I only felt at some point after I lost my mom, I felt such level of emptiness I've never felt in my life.
Right.
And I went to see the doctor. And then he told me, perhaps then maybe you need to think about having, a kid. Yeah, but then after a while, I'm not saying I still grieve for my mom. She was such a wonderful person. But that feeling went. I don't feel that I must have my own kid in order to
feel complete,
or
wholesome.
And sometimes, perhaps maybe I can say this, because normally when I write things, like recently I wrote something about myself and Honorable Pamela. And somebody was trolling Honorable Pamela because she has 12 children, the women rep of Migori. So somebody was trolling her for having 12 children. I said, you guys, we can never win with you. Millie, you troll me for not having a child, and when Pamela has 12, you troll her for not having 12. So what do you want us to give birth to frogs? And then I saw people coming in and they were like, oh, God will remember you in his own time. I really appreciate, but I'm not at that place. I'm not feeling like, oh, poor me, I don't have a child. No, that's not me. So I appreciate your concern. Those who say God will remember me, and especially when Honorable Sonko trolled me, a lot of people were like, oh, and they really bashed Sonko for doing that. And I felt for the sake of the women who don't have, but not for me. Actually, the joke was on him because it doesn't affect me.
By the way, where is he? We haven't seen him in more than 2 weeks.
I don't know. I'm praying for him. I hope he's okay. Despite everything, I worked with Sonko in the 10th Parliament.
You did, yes.
He's a young man who, if he has focus, he would have a lot of potential, but he needs to get his act together. Yeah.
Honorable Millie ODHIAMBO MABONA.
Yes.
Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Goodness, what a time we've had. Suba North must all be tuned in as we speak. And by the way, don't forget East Africa's Got Talent this coming Saturday. Sunday rather. Next 3 Sundays we'll have 2 more semi-finals and then a final.
I might come for the final.
Oh, fantastic.
But I love it. I love it. I watch it.
Seat there for you.
You remember I love dancing.
Yes.
So I watch.
Where's that dancing again? Where's that dancing?
You didn't put music, otherwise I'd have danced for you.
Country music? Do you like country music?
I love country, but country I love listening.
Yeah.
But I love dancing. Me, I'm an all-rounder.
Yeah, guesser.
I know you love country.
I love country music.
Yeah, I know. I love country. But
there you go. Look at you. Yeah. Go Millie, go Millie, go Millie, go Millie. Oh. You should have been at East Africa's Got Talent.
I almost did, actually. I almost came with that crew.
Yes. All of you, huh?
Yeah. Man, but we'll come next time.
That would have been a big hit.
No, we're coming.
What are you remember,
in the last Parliament, we actually tried something that was called Parliament's Got Talent. No. In the 10th Parliament, I swear we did.
Really?
Yes, and I was gonna dance. Shebesh was going to sing. Joyce Laboso, I can't remember what she was gonna do. And there's this former MP for Tiati was going to crack jokes around Somalis.
A comedian.
He's such a comedian. And Honorable Ekwe was supposed to do something else.
Yeah, and Waitito would throw stones.
Yeah. But when the time came, people shied off. I was willing to dance.
Parliament's Got Talent.
Parliament's Got Talent.
Well, now you've got Jaguar. Yeah, you've got KJ.
Yes.
Babu.
Yeah.
Chris Darling didn't get far, right? Okay. Okay. My bad.
Maybe we bring Akko there.
Oh, snap! Parliament will be shut down. She was there today, yeah?
Yeah, but I didn't see her. I just heard she was there, but I didn't see her. I had the
same thing. Millie Vanilli, you are a lot of fun. You know that?
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in. Keep tweeting. At Kwenagajeb. At Citizen TV Kenya, the hashtag is JKLive. We'll see you tomorrow morning on Hot 96. It's from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the hottest breakfast show in all of Africa with Jeff and Hamo on Hot. In the meantime, every Wednesday, Remember, those 3 letters on the keyboard that follow each other. JKL, right here, Citizen Television. Thank you. Good night. Good luck. God bless all our women legislators.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, my dear. Geza, geza.
Amilo, geza, geza.